Welcome to First Things First. I wanted to start off on a happy note, but then I knew Broussard was on the show and I had some issues, I'll be honest with you. In the car yesterday.
What happened?
Wow.
Listening to Speak for Yourself. So, ooh, Broussard's on. This is going to be great. Nacho goes and Marcellus is going. And Broussard starts talking about the Blazers, starts talking about the Lakers. And I hear him say, not once, not twice, maybe 3 times, Nick Wright is right. And I said, what? What is happening? Multiple times it happened, Broussard. I don't know if it was a problem with my satellite radio, but can you explain what your rationale was yesterday and apologize to America?
I certainly don't remember saying Nick Wright is right 3 times, but I do agree with Nick. He's got one good take this year, which is that Portland has no chance to beat the Lakers. That's it. He's right about that. Doesn't make up the dust.
They got to get there first, Wilds. We got to see if they even get there first.
It was a tough car ride. In any event, last night's win over the Nuggets, the Clippers clinched the 2 seed for the first time in franchise history. Kawhi was quiet in the first half, ended up with 26. Paul George, 27, and several fish. Nick, what was your takeaway from the Clippers' win over the Nuggets?
Well, listen, especially given Chris Broussard singing my praises on Speak for Yourself, nothing would thrill me more than to give his beloved Clippers immense credit this morning. The Clippers took care of business. They got the first-round matchup they wanted against Dallas. They assured they were going to get that by beating Denver. Kawhi looked good. They had 3 guys, their top 3 guys scoring double figure, all 20-plus, I should say. So I'd love to give them credit. Unfortunately, I learned just 2 days ago on this very show that playing a close game against Denver through 3 quarters and then beating their backups in the 4th quarter is not something we congratulate. It is something we attack. I learned after the Lakers had the carbon copy version of this game, where your top 3 guys play well, where the game's tied or it's a 2-point game after 3, and then Denver rests everyone in the 4th, that win actually is a loss. That when you do that, it doesn't count, and actually we're going to point out the things you did wrong. So listen, I thought the Clippers played really well. I thought it was a sneakily important game for them because they did want the 2 seed, not because home court matters, but because Dallas, they believe, I think, that Dallas doesn't stand much of a chance against them. And so all those things speak well of the Clippers. But if we are going to even pretend to hold the 2 Los Angeles teams to the same standard, which obviously we haven't done all year long, Broussard, then we've got to say, much like the Laker game a couple days ago, can't take anything from it. You were knotted after 3, and then in the 4th quarter, Denver played nobody. So much like in the Laker game, knotted after 3, 4th quarter, Denver plays nobody. So it's kind of like a push. I mean, I guess they got out healthy and they're happy and they got the win, but those wins don't count, I was told 48 hours ago. So, I mean, that's my takeaway from it because I am going to attempt to keep some level of consistency, Chris Broussard.
Just when I tried to give you some credit on Speak for Yourself, you revert to making no sense. Nick, right, the Lakers win was nothing like the Clippers win, okay? The Lakers needed the first game-winning shot of the season from Kyle Kuzma to survive the 3rd-string Nuggets, okay? And Michael Porter Jr. is somebody. Say it with me. I am somebody. Michael Porter Jr. is somebody. He played in the 4th quarter, and it wasn't even close. The Clippers ran away from what they win by 13 points, something like that. They ran away
13.
from the Nuggets. Yes, so it was nothing like the Lakers game. And, of course, the Lakers were at full strength when they survived Denver's 3rd string. And the Clippers were without Landry Shamet, Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell. Stop it, Nick.
Lakers were without KCP. If we're going to go to the Landry Shamet card, I can play the KCP card. You called Landry Shamet. You just said, hold on. You said, well, Montrezl Harrell hadn't been around the whole bubble. Montrezl Harrell hadn't played for him yet. You said it was nothing like it. After After 3 quarters, when both teams were playing their starters, the Lakers were tied with the Nuggets 88-88. After 3 quarters, when both teams were playing their starters, the Clippers were trailing the Nuggets 92-90. In both games, your top 3 scorers go for 23 plus. In both games, the Nuggets put you're right, Michael Porter Jr. did play in the fourth in this one, not against the Lakers, but so did Troy Daniels and Noah Vonleh play in the fourth in this one, unlike the Lakers. The Nuggets somehow found their 4th string last night, which I didn't know they were allowed to bring to the bubble. But no, I get it. We've known this all year long. When the Clippers play well, Wilds, it is a sign of their Broussard, it's a sign of their championship potential. And when they don't, we ignore it. So they played well last night. So it's a sign of their dominant championship potential. I've gotten it. It's taken me 70 games, but now I understand the evaluation of this basketball team, Broussard.
Can I cut to the chase? Because like Nick, I share a fondness for LeBron James. I know LeBron fairly well. I like him a lot. Obviously love what he does off the court. And like Nick, when I was younger and didn't know as much, I picked LeBron every year to win it because I was picking with my heart and not my head. Now I pick with my head, and my head tells me and virtually everyone else in the NBA that the Clippers are the best team in the Staples Center. And they're also the best team in the bubble, Nick, to your chagrin. There's nothing comparable about the 2 LA wins over Denver. The Lakers struggled to eke it out, and the Clippers ran away from it. What's similar?
Okay. So if we're judging championship potential by 4th quarters against the Denver Nuggets, point Broussard, Clippers win it. Hey, Clippers are going to play the Mavericks in the first round. The Mavericks, in one of the weirdest offensive stats, they're the best offensive rating in the history of the NBA. It's not a huge gap between the other teams this year. Nick, what are you giving the Mavericks chances of an upset over the Clippers?
The Mavericks' chances of winning the series are unfortunately incredibly slim because while the offense is outstanding, they are not a great closing team. And Dorian Finney-Smith, I guess, is going to guard Kawhi. And then who the hell's going to guard Paul George? There's a reason the Clippers are 3-0 against the Mavs, and 2 of those 3 games have been close going into the 4th, and the Clippers have separated themselves. But so 2 points of order, however, just because I cannot allow this libel to stand. In 2018, I picked the Houston Rockets to win the title. Now, they didn't, but LeBron wasn't on that team. And last year, I picked the Milwaukee Bucks to win the title. They also didn't. However, LeBron was not on that team either. So I don't pick LeBron every year. Now, I am on a cold streak of getting the titles right. The last title I got right did happen to be 2016 when LeBron won it, unfortunately. However, I do not pick LeBron every year. I'm simply picking LeBron this year. But, Broussard, I will offer a friendly wager to you because I am assuming you're going to say the Clippers have no chance to, the Mavs have no chance to upset the Clippers. I believe the Mavs-Clippers series will still be going when the Lakers have already advanced. So while I don't think the Mavericks can beat them, I think that this series has a far greater likelihood of going 6, maybe even 7. That I said at the beginning of the bubble, if we get Clippers-Mavs, I think they're in a tough game 6 against the Mavs, and the Clippers end up winning it, while I think the Lakers will have a sweep or a gentleman's sleep. Now, maybe you'll shock me and you'll say the Mavs can beat the Clippers. I don't think you're going to do that. But I think this thing goes 6. It's a tough 6-game series for the Clippers with game